No matter how the wind howls, the mountain cannot bow to it. I'm Steph.
And I'm Ange.
We're Nerdazons.
Oh, we got that down packed so well now.
Awesome. So this month we are doing, I keep saying monthly when it should be fortnightly. This fortnight we are doing my choice, which is the Mulan, the cartoon versus the 2020 live action. And we actually have a special guest, Amber.
Hi. Hello.
Yay.
The reason why I brought Amber on is because she is the biggest Disney nerd I know.
It's true, I love Disney.
But Disney's good.
Disney is good.
That's why I was like, the whole time she's like, if you got Disney, you should get my Disney Plus, so then that way you can watch Mulan. I actually went out and brought Mulan. You should watch it. I'm like, okay, calm down, I'll watch it, but I'm saving it for the podcast. Have you watched it yet? So now I can say I've watched it.
Yes.
So we're doing the 1998 cartoon Mulan. To save her father from death in the army, a young maiden secretly goes to his place and becomes one of China's greatest heroines in the process. I love this movie, but I want to know what Amber thinks.
It's fantastic. It's excellent. The soundtrack's amazing. It's just a great, fun movie.
Oh, I only just realised that it's Eddie Murphy.
Oh my God, Steph.
Yeah.
I hadn't watched that in forever.
Last fortnight she forgot that Maggie Smith was in Hook. And now you're just realising that it's Eddie Murphy.
Well, I knew, but I was like, who is that? This sounds really familiar because I hadn't watched it in a very long time.
Like Donkey.
Yeah, all right.
Such a good... this cartoon was so groundbreaking in so many different ways when it came out.
I didn't realise how incredibly sexist that first song is when they're like, you will wear a dress and you will do as your man
the
says.
matchmaker scene was the best.
It's just such a beautiful...
I love that scene. But it's also kind of accurate historically at that time, women...
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't want to talk about it, but yes, that's what you were...
The girl worth fighting for scene can be is a bit sexist too,
Yes.
but I also love it.
I think that's what I was getting of, the girl worth fighting for.
Yeah.
Do you know, I actually Googled, because I'm like, there's 2 songs on this soundtrack that I love, and they're probably my top 5 favourite Disney songs, and I Googled it, and they don't even make top 30.
Really?
Yeah.
What songs are they?
So, I'll Make a Man Out of You, which I'm pretty sure most people love that one. So good. I wasn't even in it. And then the other one is A Girl Worth Fighting For, which is so good.
I will say, if you buy the Disney DVD, you not only get Donny Osmond singing I'll
You
Make
get
a Man Out of
Jackie
You,
Chan.
the movie, you get Jackie Chan
In
singing
Mandarin
it.
and Cantonese.
Which
Both
is
versions.
fantastic.
I always thought it was on the VHS
special...
as well.
It probably is,
Because I remember the Little Mermaid VHS had, don't know who, but it was like a Disney Nickelodeon Kids Star. But at the end they had all the versions at the end of the VHS after the credits.
That's wicked.
I'm pretty sure the same for Mulan on the VHS.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember you can actually listen to it on Spotify, I think, Jackie Chan's versions. Because he does sing quite a lot.
Does he?
Yeah.
I'm learning so much already.
But yeah, he did. And I think when they released it in China, he voiced Shang.
Okay.
Or maybe he just did the vocals for the song.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. But yeah, he was involved in
Oh my
that.
God, I love this movie so much though.
Yes.
I love the cricket. Oh.
Yeah.
He's a lucky cricket.
He's a lucky cricket.
You ain't lucky.
No. And the grandma. Oh, this movie just makes me
Yes,
happy.
the grandma.
Yeah, the grandma's great.
One thing that is really good about this film is from the very beginning, it already showed you the expectations of honor that was expected for her. So it was really good to justify her actions throughout the film. And it made you understand why she did what she did. Because I really like that they show some of that honor to your family, which is something that I like. It's big in Chinese culture. So it was really interesting to see both the male and female parts.
Me and my
of
sister
that.
still, whenever we talk to each other, she just goes, "You dishonor me. You dishonor your whole family." And I would just say that.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your
cow.
cow.
Yeah, so we always say that to each other just to be smartasses. But yeah.
Did you know George Takei was in this?
No.
He's the emperor.
No. So George Takei is the first ancestor that comes out and he wakes Mushu.
Ah.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought he was the
First
voice of the
ancestor.
emperor. The ancestor.
Yeah. And then you had one of the most underrated Chinese actors, James Hong.
Okay.
So he's Poe's dad in Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and he's in it. He's Chi Fu, which is the guy that writes everything, and he's like, you'll speak when spoken to, sort of thing. So he's really great. I love him, but I also love him in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
He's so good. But there's also a lot of hidden meaning in this, which is I think why it was so groundbreaking.
I did not know that Donny Osmond was in this film.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Donny Osmond does the voice of Shane when he sings. I don't think he does the speaking voice.
No, he only does the
I feel like
singing
this was back in the days where Disney had actual singers do the singing.
Yes.
So they also had that Leah Salanga who does the voice of Princess Jasmine, or the singing for Princess Jasmine, came back to do the singing voice for Mulan. So she is 2 Disney princesses.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
very
That's
cool.
like Wendy Darling and Alice in
Yeah,
Wonderland.
yeah.
It's the same girl
Does that
that
mean
did
that
it.
she's a Disney queen?
No.
No, because Disney queens are always horrible.
She's
people.
just like Disney princess squared. I don't know if that equals queen.
Yeah, I mean, they only say there's one Disney queen, and that's Adina Menzel from Enchanted, because she married the prince when she goes into the cartoon
Also
realm.
Elsa, she's
and
also a
Elsa, so
queen.
she's like a double queen.
I'm just going to say technically Anna is also a queen, but I don't want to put that out.
Yeah.
Is that a spoiler? Do we need to cut that
I didn't. Is this person too?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
I'm like, okay, let's cut that.
Yeah. Edit that.
I haven't watched it.
I actually sorry, always segue. It's our podcast, shut up. I genuinely liked Frozen 2 a lot.
I haven't watched it.
It's very good. Watch it.
I know, I will. I'm actually really behind on a lot of the Disney cartoons, and I really want to watch Soul. So that's next on my list to
I'll
watch.
give you my Disney Plus password.
But let's jump back. So Hidden
Why don't you
Meaning.
just get everyone on this podcast
Disney
to bloody
Disney
Disney
Plus?
again?
Everybody wants Disney Plus. Just hit me up.
So back to Hidden Meaning. So in Chinese culture, it was expected to keep your hair long at that time, and her cutting her hair was a huge symbolism, and it was like cutting herself off from society and the expectations that she was meant to have, which is, I feel like a really powerful scene. And there's a lot of that as well. And did you know, I didn't know this until I was doing research, Fa Mulan translates to magnolia flower, which I didn't realize that in the cartoon. I always just assumed it was cherry blossoms, but cherry blossoms obviously are native to Japan, but magnolias are native to China. And I always thought the tree that she was under was a cherry blossom tree, but it's a magnolia tree.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't know that. And it's like, it shows you, I feel like in the 90s, Disney did really well on their research.
Yeah.
And it shows with that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say something. I don't know how true it is because I read it on Tumblr, so it's not like it's always a factual place. But I did read that Fa Ping translates to something very similar to flower vase, and
Really?
it's a like a bit of a colloquialism nickname for homosexuals that was used in the 90s.
wow.
As a bit of a like.
I had no
So,
idea.
Wow.
or, you know,
Yeah.
so that was a bit of an in joke that they used, calling him Fa Ping, well, her Fa Ping when she was dressed as a man.
Wow,
Because she was
I didn't
obviously
know
a
that.
very effeminate man.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
That's, well, I read it on Tumblr, so don't quote me on how factual that is.
Yeah, Tumblr. I haven't been on Tumblr for years, to be honest.
It's a Disney haven.
Speaking of Tumblr, I'm now on the TikToks.
Yay!
It's so bad. You know my views on that. I'll not go into it
I
further.
love it. It is seriously like crack.
Yeah, it's so funny.
No, it's like crack though. Like I will sit there and I'm like, I'm just gonna watch one or two before bed. Like 4 hours later, I'm like, oh my god, now I know how to make faces or yeah. Ugh.
Oh, I know 1,000 recipes and I've figured out how to do this weird painting technique that I'm never going to use, but I'll save it anyway. Just
And
in
how to
case.
make lunches.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Lunch for my kids. Yeah.
Another groundbreaking fact that I feel is really, really good for Mulan is it teaches kids that both genders and their skills are important.
Yeah.
So regardless if she's a girl or a guy, she was able to do the job. You
Yeah.
know, which is really groundbreaking, especially considering, you know, if you go classic Disney, it's
Yeah.
very, very sexist.
Really didn't show her as weaker. With the same training, she was able to achieve the same
Correct.
results as all of the men, which
I
is
have
great.
stuff to say on the
Yeah.
training scene.
I'm gonna say something which is probably gonna give my review of the second one away, and and Amber's looking at me. Okay, so I have to say that between Mulan and Shang, they became like really good mates. And when they were like, I love you at the end, it was totally believable. And I was like, oh, like this is so cute after watching it. Whereas the next one,
Yeah,
not
we
so
should
much.
save that for when we get to it.
Yes.
Because then that's just going to go into we spiral otherwise. And I have a lot more really good facts to say about
This one.
Mulan and why
Yeah.
it was so good. Did you
Okay.
know it was the first Disney to come out on DVD?
No.
I did not.
Yeah, so it was the
So
first.
if you didn't know about Disney.
It was the first Disney to come out on DVD, and they had over 700 artists, animators, and technicians on it, and it took 5 years to make
Oh.
Far out.
because they wanted to make sure it came out right.
Yes.
Yeah, which
Correct.
is what I really like, that they can be a bit of a perfectionist, but
Yeah.
it shows.
Absolutely.
And Mulan and Jasmine were the first Disney princesses to wear pants,
Yeah.
which is cool. I
yeah,
love.
that is cool.
I love
Oh,
it.
I love Aladdin so much, and I can't wait to do the new
We will
Aladdin.
do that one.
Because Amber and I went to see the Aladdin musical, and it was incredible.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
This next fun fact. My brother told me,
Yeah.
who is also full of fun facts. So I messaged him and I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this. Give me your fun facts. And he has a ton. So this one, he said it was actually originally going to be a short story about a chick, about a girl. That's his language in his text.
A lady.
So it was going to be a short story about a girl who was swept off her feet by a British soldier who left China with her. No one at Disney wanted to make that till they suggested basing it on Mulan and making it a full-length film, which everyone knows that Mulan is based off of an old
Yeah.
legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Mulan a real
Quite
person?
frankly, not
Legend.
Okay.
I don't think they can figure out accurately if she was or wasn't.
I probably would not have loved that.
If it was a short story,
to
I wouldn't
me-
like. It sounds like Pocahontas.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
it was like Pocahontas in China. I
Yeah.
just like, yeah,
I wouldn't
and
have liked it either.
All of the problems with Pocahontas and
Yep.
the historical accuracy and the,
I have not seen Pocahontas. I
Racism.
don't know.
Yep.
I have not seen Pocahontas in... I don't think I've seen it when I was a little kid. I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah, you get a shock when you rewatch it. It doesn't age well.
And do you know what other one
Yeah.
I've never seen? Bambi.
No, that one's not too bad.
I don't think I've ever watched it fully.
No.
I never had VHS Disney. I had Aladdin, which we broke, and we had to watch Return of Jafar constantly. And then we had Pocahontas, and we had the second Pocahontas and King of Thieves, Aladdin. That's literally what I grew up watching. Even my favorite Disney, I read more than I watched.
My mum has a thing about watching movies more than once. It just drives her insane.
Really?
So the only time I got to watch all of my Disney loves as a child was when I went to my cousin's house, and I would force my younger cousins to watch movies like Mulan and Pocahontas just over and over
That
again.
sounds like me with my best friend. Whenever I'd go to her, she had every Disney, my
Yeah,
best friend.
my
And so I'm
cousins.
like, let's watch this. I don't want to watch it. And I'm like, but I haven't seen it.
That's all right. I would
don't
just
know
go
the
and tell their mum they won't let me watch my movie, and she would force them all to watch it.
That's so funny.
So yeah.
Sounds like my story.
Growing up, me and my best mate used to watch. We used to go down to the video shop. We'd literally rent.
Oh, you told me about
Crybaby
this.
every single time, and then it was this Crybaby. Literally, that's all it was. We got to the point, and then it turned, and then we went to the video shop, and the guys just like, take it. Like, you're the only ones who rent it. Just take it. And we thought it was the best day of our lives. And then the other one that we grew up watching non-stop was Titanic. We would watch it, and then we'd watch it literally 4 times in a row. We'd watch
my
it
God.
fully. We'd watch it. And then I'd be Leo and she'd be...
Oh my God.
and then we'd just like mouth our own words to it. And then
Yeah.
we'd watch it again when we'd actually swap places and actually mouth the words. And then we'd watch it again and just look at all her pretty outfits.
Oh my God. I'm going to just say it. Like, Titanic was great, but I'm not like...
I'll never let go, Jack.
I'm not obsessed. My partner
Until
likes
I have
it.
to, and then bye.
And it's
I'll
just-
never let go, Jack.
Yeah, not my thing. But let's go back to... Let's go back to Mulan. And I have more fun facts. So this one I found. So did you know the only reason Cricky was added was because the animator kept drawing it and sliding it under the director's door? And then eventually he's like, yeah, okay, let's add it. And he was a good addition.
He was a great addition.
Yeah.
So many funny little scenes with that cricket.
I know.
Yeah, like I feel like this had the right amount of seriousness, the right amount of comedy. It had a straight character journey.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't complicate it. You had the right amount of characters at the
Yes.
same time. Like, they didn't just keep adding people in it. And it was just so groundbreaking.
Yeah.
In so many different elements.
I feel like without the cricket, Mushu would have lost a lot of his scenes and lines.
I
as well.
agree.
One of my favourite parts is when he's sliding down the snow hill and he's looking for the cricket and he pulls
like,
those
"You
two
are a
hairs.
lucky cricket."
Yeah, he pulls those two hairs up and it's one of the Hun's
You're staying
heads,
with me.
and he puts it back down.
Yes. Nope, you can go back.
Yeah, no, that's not it. Then puts it. It's a cricket.
Yeah. Like, they were a good duo. They really were. Also, did you know, you notice when Mulan brushes her hair a lot, it's because the actress touches her hair a lot. So I think they incorporated that a little
wow.
bit. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But
It's great how they do that.
I like that. It just adds an element of like, I don't know. What's the word? I can't think of it.
It's realness. It makes the characters
Yeah.
seem more real when they have mannerisms.
Yes,
that
yes, that's
they
what I
wouldn't
was trying to think.
normally, artists could make them up. But
Yeah.
it seems more natural when it's like what?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you summed it up perfectly. But this has to be my all-time favorite fact that my brother told me. So he said that the fact that the Hun says at the end, "You're the soldier from the mountain," instead of referencing her as a she, is because the Huns themselves saw warriors, not gender. So to him, he didn't see a female. He saw a warrior in front of him, and that's why he referred to her as a soldier. I'm like, freaking awesome. I love that.
That's awesome.
And
yes.
yeah, because like the Huns, like historically, they had women warriors as well.
Yeah, he registered no surprise to see her as a woman.
Yeah.
No surprise at all. Just, it's you.
Yeah, I loved it. And he wasn't ashamed to like, it's you're a warrior. I'm going to go and like beat the crap out of you now. We'll try to anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, like just so many really good groundbreaking moments with this DVD.
Yeah.
This is another good point. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I think really escalates the soundtrack. Did you notice that all singing stops when Shang's father dies?
Yes.
They sing A Girl We're Fighting For, and then it stops when they come into the camp, and then there's no more music. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm like, you know what, it shows as a kid watching the seriousness that comes with that. And I really feel for a simple thing like the doll, when Shan Yu, because it's the white guy, they're all Asian, and then it's Shan Yu. So, and another really like hard-hitting scene is when Shan Yu picks up the doll and then you later see Mulan hold it, and I feel like that helps kids understand the impact of war without having to show them the full element of it.
Yep.
And that was really powerful when you see that. Just so groundbreaking. It's all I can say. That's the one word I've got for this is it's freaking groundbreaking and amazing.
It's just, I love it.
And
one
it's
of
really
my favorites.
underrated. Like the more I was Googling it and I thought everyone must love this, and like the more lists I was looking for, like the soundtrack list, and none of it wasn't in like the top 30, I was just like, this is severely underrated.
Yeah, so even though she's officially part of the Disney Princess lineup, it's sort of not, for a lot of people, not really counted when you think about the Disney Princess films, because she's not
princess.
she's not the typical princess.
But I feel more girls connect with that more. They
yes.
don't want to be that. Like, I used to have this classic, it was a trilogy DVD set, and it was all Disney songs together, and there's a song from like the 50s, and it's like How to Get a Good Husband, and it's like, know your place, cook your food, make sure you look good, and it's just, I remember when I listened to it when I went back, and I'm like, what? Like, who? That's what propaganda, like early Disney, shoved down girls' throats. And I feel like that's why, I know Merida's Pixar, but it's like when you look at Merida, Mulan, Pocahontas, girls can be tomboys. Girls want to like fight and do the things for themselves as well. And I think that's why she was so great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I think we can move on because I feel like a lot of the points are going to come from this, and we're going to bounce. I think when we move on to the remake, it is going to bounce between the two.
Wait, how many movie reels out of 5 do you give Mulan, the 1993 version?
Oh, the original.
98, sorry.
The original one. I would be happy to give it a 5 because I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 4.7.
I'm giving it a 5. Perfect. Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
like I feel like you can't go wrong with that story.
No.
Mulan 2020. A young Chinese maiden disguises herself as a male warrior in order to save her father. I didn't like this movie.
First?
I didn't like it.
Okay, so when I was first telling you to watch this movie, I believe I clearly said to you, don't go into this film expecting a remake of the cartoon. go into this film expecting a retelling of the Chinese legend
Yes.
of Mulan.
Yes.
Because it's a very different story to the animation.
Yes.
But I feel like, from what I know about Mulan, which I'll admit isn't a great deal, I feel like they really did her justice in this film, and I actually really enjoyed it. I think there were parts of this film where I was suddenly crying and didn't really understand why, but I found it very moving, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
You're getting teary just
I loved
thinking about
it.
I like the fact that they had the songs that playing throughout,
Yeah.
but the CGI to me was terrible.
Okay.
And I just felt like it was over CGI'd, and that I don't know. I didn't connect to the characters as much as I did with the cartoon.
Shall I go through my list?
Oh, yes,
hear
please.
What did you think of the movie?
I do have to agree with Steph. I think, though, because I knew it was going to be different.
Not
They
go to
did-
yuck anybody's yum.
No, that's right. And everyone's like, it's actually quite interesting because I wanted to wait for us all to put our views out there. When I was looking at reviews, it was the two extremes.
Yeah.
Like you had people rating it at 5 out of 5, and then you had people rating it at 1 out of 1. So it's a very diverse mix of the reviews on this one. I personally didn't like it. I can see what they were trying to do to make it more like a Chinese style story. However, I used to watch a lot of Chinese films, Hong Kong films, martial art films, you name it. I hate Western style martial arts.
Okay.
You have the skill. Donnie Yen, Jet Li, they are magnificent freaking martial artists, and they have to add flying, running up walls. It's like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. If you ever watch those type of films,
Yes.
it's like I think this film really could have achieved if they took that element out, right? So if you're going to not make it the fairy tale that it was without the magic, don't include the magic, which they threw it in with the Phoenix. And it's like, well, if you're going to throw that in with CGI, then just add Mushu in it. Just make it the story or make it the fairy tale. That was...
It was beautiful to look at. And as soon as I watched it, I went, oh, look at all the colors and things. It was beautiful to look at, but I just felt like...
That's where it got its few points from me.
But I just feel like it wasn't
brilliant.
as magical as this one.
Yeah, but which she did announce before it came out. Like, I will sort of side with Amber here. She did announce it before it was released that it was meant to be a darker version.
Yes.
Yeah. It was never meant to be the remake of the cartoon. Okay, so what I really enjoyed in this was I love that she was a warrior to begin with. I love that was a part of her, and that when she went off to war, it was very different to Mulan having to pretend to be a man. Like, so in the original Mulan, she sings the reflection song, and when will I, the person who I am be the same as who's on the outside. But she never really, not until at the very end, is she able to be who she really is, a woman who's also powerful. But in this, when she goes to war, it's the first time she doesn't have to hide the chi and hide her abilities. And she finds she actually is herself when she goes off there.
Yeah.
She's not, as much as I love the original, she's not this weak girl, getting smashed in the training and having a really hard time. She sort of gets there and she's like a boss from day dot, even when she is hiding the chi, when that comes out, she's like a mega boss.
Yeah. See, I like that message.
Finish him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
I like the message of like trying to tell you to be who you are, but I actually didn't like that she was like knew how to fight. I feel like it changed her character journey.
Yes.
Like you didn't watch her get stronger like you did in the cartoon, and I feel like that was a really important journey for Mulan to get stronger. Whereas in this, she was already strong, and it just detaches you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I liked the discussion between her and the sorceress of like, you need to be you before you can be the strongest you, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'll give kudos to that. Did not like her addition though, the sorceress.
I did. I liked how she sort of says they'll never accept a woman. That's why I've got to fight so hard because I'm a woman with power and it will never be accepted. And Mulan shows she's accepted. She's gone about things the right way and without any evil, I suppose. And she's accepted as a woman with all of her power, and it shows the sorceress that people can change, I suppose.
But I feel like it also blurs the original message in the cartoon where the Huns see you as a warrior. And
Yeah.
to her in this one, she like spats the speech of not being accepted and she's a slave to him. He even, I think, says it to her at one point, like,
She works for me.
yeah, you work for
And
me,
then
or like
she knows
I
who her
own you. And
master
it's
is.
just like,
Yeah.
it's just like you kind of ruined that message of what the Huns were to be accepting of
Yeah.
women as warriors. And I just think in the cartoon it was simple. It was a simple, direct line of her getting stronger, and you didn't need to add all the additional stuff. I mean, I can see what they tried to do.
Yeah.
And I do like the message of her trying to be, you need to be you to be the strongest you.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like watching underdogs get stronger, and that's what you saw in the cartoon.
Yes,
And she was
yeah.
just already, this is the problem with Star Wars. Because Rey was OP to begin with, and that's why people don't like it. And I feel like it's
What's
kind of
OP?
overpowered.
Oh,
Yeah. It's,
sorry, I'm not down with all this lingo.
and that's just the kind of like what happened. It's like you miss the fight. Like when you look at Luke, who had to get stronger with Yoda, but she already knew how to do all these mind tricks, and it's
This is another reason why we have Amber on, because she's also a Star Wars nerd.
Oh, I'm all about Kylo Ren and smashing up stations and then taking the helmet off. Ooh. It's my favourite part.
I just love that. And then, ooh.
But that was my perceiving of
Yeah.
this. But yeah,
That's fair. That's very
Yeah.
fair. It is a very, it's a different feeling to the original.
Yeah.
But I still really enjoyed it. And it might have been, like, a part of it was the cinematography. I liked the new storyline. I don't have a problem with the over-the-top karate
yeah.
and stuff like
some
that.
people like that, some people don't. Like
Yeah.
I'm just a fan of seeing the underdog.
Yeah.
Like, watch them struggle and get stronger, and like, because it shows you determination overcomes anything.
Yeah.
When you see it, like, you've got Naruto, he was the underdog, but he was determined. Goku was the like underdog, but he was
Don't you love
determined.
Goku?
I do love Goku. I feel like calling Goku an underdog when he is like...
If you watch the original Dragon Ball,
Even as an 8-year-old, he was
But
kicking butt.
he was a Super Saiyan. He was. But like, it just shows you that whenever he finds someone who's stronger than him, he will always work to make himself better.
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's the journey of making yourself better, which is
Yeah.
something that I kind of like enjoy.
Yeah.
But let's just go. I got a few more things that was slightly
All right.
disappointing.
Go.
I really, really hated the matchmaker scene.
Yeah, I'll have to say that didn't have the same...
Pizzazz.
Yeah.
It was so good in the classic.
It was,
so
yes.
funny. And like
Yeah.
that 10-second scene just had it all.
Yeah, it did. And the song, like all of it, her getting ready and the music and
Yeah.
everything like that, I wish they had kept... They play the song over the top.
Yes,
a little
yeah.
bit of it.
And I think they did that when the guy, well, I say air quotation mark guys, minus Mulan, when they were all talking about the girls,
Yeah.
and then they played because I was listening and I'm like, oh, I would have preferred to hear the song.
Naked Man Out of You plays while they're training, and that's one of the bits where I was suddenly crying, was in one of the big battles, and her hair's out, and all of a sudden over the top they start playing Reflections is like into the the background music, and it was just me suddenly saying to my partner, why am I crying? Why are there tears all over my face? And he's like, I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay, I got stuff on the battle.
Okay.
I'm trying not to like poo on this. But
It's all right. You're going to take a big steaming dump and it's fine.
it's not like, I'm not saying that it wasn't shot beautifully. I think it's more the story and the way they did it. If they had have changed the angles, maybe it would have been good. But like, I like in the cartoon, you have one missile left, and especially with Mulan, it shows you her brains, not so much brawn. So every time she gets out of a situation, it's like, hang on, let's tie the weights together as a levy to get up the thing, or let's use the missile to hit that and take out most of the army. So like, it shows you her brains, and everyone will see that she did like rescue everyone. Essentially, she saved them, and then that's why they're like, oh, a life for a life, you can stay here now since we know you're a woman. Whereas that impact's not in it, because she gets around an army who are really like, strategically they have better warfare, and she manages to get around them and then like get them to fire their own cannon, which it's not historically accurate, I will get into that, fire it into the cliff, and no one can see that. So the impact of like him, of where he says, oh, you're exiled, and it's like, but you didn't see the heroic deed, so it doesn't warrant her being exiled as opposed to execution.
Yeah.
And I just feel it wasn't as impactful.
Okay.
Cool fun facts.
Yes.
Though, because I got really into looking at the like historic like warfare on it, and it was my partner who pointed this out, so that's why I fell down the rabbit hole of looking at it. So the machine that they use, it's not called a catapult.
I was going to say one interesting thing. Tom grew up, my partner, with 2 brothers, so a house of 3 boys. So he'd never seen movies like Beauty and the Beast and Mulan growing up. So the first time he's seen these films is as an adult, a dad, you know, watching these movies for the first time. So it's been really fun watching them with him because he has no like preconceived biases to these. Both Mulan and, Mulan, but Beauty and the Beast and one other one that I can't think of. He saw the live actions before he saw the cartoons. So his perception, particularly Beauty and the Beast, after we watched the live action, we watched the cartoon, and all the way through it, he's going, "That's not what happened. That's not right." I was like, "This is actually the original." That's been very interesting.
That would be good to see.
Watching these two without having ever seen them before and not having that nostalgic attachment to the first one and the songs and everything like that.
Yeah, because sometimes your like attachment gets in the way, which we have mentioned before on the podcast.
Especially with the craft.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm still yet to watch the new one, but I will give it a go.
Oh, I wouldn't waste my time.
See, I always go, oh, I hate this movie. And then Amber's like, I'm going to watch it. And then she's like, I actually like this movie. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I like this movie too. Like, I end up liking it. But the craft...
The first thing I say to Steph when she says, I hate this movie, I go, who did you watch it with? Did you watch it alone? Were you in a good mood? Were you fit? Were you hungry?
Yeah.
Because sometimes she'll go, oh, I'll watch it with someone else. And now I really enjoy it.
Yeah. It just takes watching it with that person to like show you a different
it's like
view
comedies.
of it.
You can watch a comedy and think it's not funny, and then watch it with someone who's cracking up laughing,
and then
suddenly...
their like laughter is contagious. Yeah. So back to the battle. So they use what's called trebuchets, which is like a French machine. So they didn't really have that in warfare at the time, because I was watching the scene when the Huns were flipping around on the horse and showing like flinging the arrows and stuff like that. So the Huns were good at strategic warfare, right? So they had the use of a lot of towers and battering rams. So they didn't have that catapult. And what made them so, for example, Attila the Hun, what made him different from other like barbarian warlords is he was good at horse and bow and arrow. Chinese army did have that, because I was starting to think, we were in like a deep discussion on this, and we were trying to think, did they have bow and arrows and horses, which they had it, but they didn't really use it. They used crossbows because they thought it was an easier and quicker transition to teach. So battle scene wasn't completely historically accurate. And I'm like, if you're going to do the research into it, you might as well do it properly. Yeah, anyway, that's just my little note I wanted to say on the battle scene.
Yep, that's fair.
I like that they did leave like little bits in, like cricket was actually like a man, and
oh, I didn't like that.
I kind of
I'm so sorry, I'm not meaning to like just to hound on this.
I just didn't like anything.
I thought some of the cinematography was beautiful. I did.
I like that there was little nods to the cartoon.
Yeah, but I just feel like they took what made Mulan out, and then it just didn't really feel like Mulan anymore. Like, I feel like you could have done a historically like based film on the legend and not label it as a remake or a live action. If they didn't say it was a live action of the cartoon, people aren't going to go into it thinking, oh, it's the live action of the cartoon.
They should never have said live action of the cartoon.
Because people automatically connected it.
She's not Disney's Mulan.
She's not,
She's a very different... And that's what I kept saying. I was like, I can imagine this character maybe being more like the traditional... you know, the story of Mulan or the legend, rather than just an ordinary girl who goes and trains and, you know, makes she does make good decisions and she gets a little bit lucky, whereas this girl sort of has more of what the stuff legends are made of in the live one. She's, you know, the chi and everything like that makes a big difference to her being that legendary.
They really needed to disconnect them.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Like, for instance, when we did the Joker... what I think made that movie good, is because they said it was a standalone Joker film. It was never going to be a part of the Batman universe. And I think that's what they needed to do with this one, because as soon as they labelled it live action, I think that's what pooed
That's
the
what I
reviews.
said straight. Whenever I told anyone, Steph, I said, don't expect a remake of the cartoon. Expect a telling of the old Chinese legend.
Yeah.
Completely apart from the way Disney...
Yeah, and I think if they just took some of that, like, Western style flying Chinese martial arts out, it would have been 1,000% better.
I think for like layman audiences who don't watch a lot of karate films, that they needed that to represent the chi. Like people don't understand a lot of what that, you know, chi energy sort of is meant to look like. So I think they had to keep some of that over the top stuff to show she was doing. It almost looks supernatural, the stuff that she does, or superhuman. I think they needed that just to make it clear that she possessed something that wasn't
not everyone had. Now that you say it like that, it's like I can see what they were doing. One last thing I have to say is really, really annoying, and that's only because I watched a lot of Jet Li's films. Did they just dub his voice? And like I tried to Google this, and a lot of people questioned it.
Okay.
Because if you watch a lot of his English films, so you've got like Lethal Weapon, you've got Romeo Must Die, even in a later one, he was in the Forbidden Kingdom with Jackie Chan. Mm-hmm. He has a very unique English-speaking voice. That was not his voice. And I tried to Google it, and everyone else was asking the same thing, and they're all saying it's a completely obviously dubbed voice.
Okay.
But nowhere is actually stipulating it was dubbed.
Because I noticed that as well, that the voice didn't quite match up. And I was actually telling Mum, does this look like it was put in like another language and then translated and then overdubbed?
If you listen to Jet Li speak, he plays the Monkey King in the Forbidden Kingdom, and listen to him speak, and he'll say like words like traveler and things like that. He has a very distinct accent, and I know because I was like massively obsessed with him and I had to go down the rabbit hole and watch all his films. He has a distinct English accent, and it did not come through in this.
Okay.
And I just don't understand why they had to dub it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why they did that. Also, the message of like...
Bori Khan.
Bori Khan, yeah.
So Bori Khan's revenge in this was purely because his dad died. I kind of liked the motivation in the cartoon, and it's not that he wanted to kill him for revenge. He wanted him to bow to him in front of all of China, and I'm like, I feel like it seems so much more disrespectful. But in this one, he just wanted to capture him and kill him, and it just... I don't know. I think, they needed to really separate the lines of if it's a live action film or if it was a standalone film about a tale, like an old legend.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
That should have been much, much clearer to the audience because, I've seen a lot of discussions where people are frankly saying it's terrible because it's nothing like the original, and you're sort of like, well... That was never the intention.
No.
But
I went in thinking, it's, even though Amber was like, it's nothing like it, I still went, it's going to be like a little bit
of hope.
I did, but no.
Also, side note, do you guys watch Mandalorian?
Yes.
You know Fennec Shan?
Yes.
The sniper. You know she's the original voice of Mulan.
Oh, really?
And you know she was at the end of the film.
What?
So when she come up to the Emperor to be like, Fa Mulan, and then she moves aside and she bows in front of everyone, that was the original voice of Mulan. That was Fennec Shan.
I never knew that.
Yeah. I didn't know it either. My partner pointed it out and he's like, oh, it's Fennec from like Mandalorian.
How good is The Mandalorian though?
That's fantastic.
It is so good.
Yes.
It is amazing. They saved Star Wars. They truly
That
did.
sounds like we should move on. However, how many movie reels do you give the new Mulan?
I'd probably give it a 3.5 to a 4. A 4, maybe?
Okay.
No, I'm giving it like a 0.2. I had so much more to say, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to be like...
Negative Nancy?
Yeah, but I didn't enjoy it. I think the storyline in the cartoon was much straight and clean.
Yeah.
And like, cartoon's great. I'll just go back and watch the cartoon. So, yeah, I mean... The 0.2 is because you did have Donnie Yen. I love him, and he did an awesome like little sword sort of scene dance. But yeah, and I think I unfortunately was one of those that went into it thinking it was a live action remake.
Okay, yeah.
And it was probably the most deviated out of all of them.
A setup for disappointment if you went in expecting the original and then you're like what is this?
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
probably going to give it 2 stars.
Okay.
2 movie reels. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask both of you guys, what do you think the first one got on Rotten Tomatoes?
It's a percentage, isn't
Out
it?
of 100, yeah.
I'll say probably 90.
Okay.
I'm going to go somewhere near like 86.
Okay, so I did have it up.
I feel like it was an above average, but
Yeah.
I after like Googling a lot and realizing that a lot of the really good things in it didn't come up in like the top list. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe
Yeah.
it's not so. I would love to give it in the 90s, like straight out, like 97%.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would have got that.
Okay, so it got... So Mulan got 86%.
Oh, wow.
I didn't actually check that one.
Did you
oh my
guess
God.
86%?
I did.
Yeah.
Shut up, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Wow, I haven't guessed like really in a while because I kind of know the rough percentage of the next one, but I didn't check that one.
Yes, that deserves another high five.
I know. That was
Okay,
awesome.
so what do you think the 2020 got?
Oh, probably around 70.
I think
and-
it was in the 60s, wasn't it? The review.
Amber was closer at 73%.
Oh.
You get a high five too then.
It
Whoa.
wasn't totally hated.
That's what I was saying. When I read the reviews, it was like it was really the complete opposites. There was no in between.
Yeah.
You either hated it or you loved it.
Yeah.
And it is, I think, the biggest point that we've mentioned. You got to differentiate from.
Yes.
Don't go into it thinking it's a cartoon. I did, which is why I didn't like the film. But if you had an open mind like you did, I think you would enjoy it.
Enjoyed it more, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, let's move on to
Nerdazon's
Nerdazon's Nerdy Notables. Just think Emma's little...
I didn't know what to say then.
So this is what we just talk about, what we've been doing that's like nerdy and stuff.
Okay.
So Ange had a sleepover and we watched The Exorcist for the first time.
Steph got very bored, which I'm annoyed with, but I think I saved her opinion a bit by pausing it and explaining certain points.
Because, no, but like old-timey movies,
They have a lot of dialogue.
it's a lot of dialogue and it's
that's what I love
also
about it.
the English is like old-time English and not now. So, and they
It's
they
dense.
mumble a lot.
It's dense English and they rely on dialogue to set the scene.
Also,
but I love that.
ADD brain, so I'm just like, I'm bored. I'm going to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
What we should have finished by 10 o'clock, we didn't finish till nearly 12 because of the amount of times we had to pause the damn film.
And does that surprise you?
No. Although when you go to the movies, you're not bad at that sort of thing. You seem very focused in the cinema.
I think it's because it's like I've spent money on
This
it.
cost me $10, so...
I will get my money's worth.
But also, because I was at home, I could,
Pause it.
Yeah, there's no distractions at the movies.
yes, see, whenever me and Amber go to the movies together, anybody just starts talking, like, shut up, shush.
Yeah,
Just
which
be
I
quiet.
was actually really shocked.
the
I know that
noisiest
we
person.
both watch films differently. Like I like to really pick and analyze things, and Steph likes to just focus on it. And she
Yeah.
doesn't like people who talk. Whereas, like that's why I watch them with my twin brother because we both love to talk and like really like talk about what's happening.
I'm the obnoxious person that, like, somebody's, like, opening up a packet. I'm like, shut up down
She
there.
loves shushing people.
Yeah, which is why I was shocked to watch this with you because I'm like, oh, she's not gonna like it. But we did pause it and talk about it, which
Yes.
I'm really glad we did because I don't think you would have had that appreciation
No.
if I didn't tell you
No.
those certain things.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just going to put it out there. I don't know how I feel about One Division.
I haven't watched it
I
yet.
haven't watched it yet
And I
either.
really, really, really want to watch it.
Yes, I
I
haven't.
watched
But I
the
wanna wait for
first
the hype to die
episode.
down.
There's 3 on Disney Plus.
I know,
Already, yeah,
and I
yeah,
watched
yeah.
the first episode, and I was just, I don't like it.
Yeah, I haven't given it a try yet, but I love all of that like 50s, 60s
Yeah,
TV.
did you ever watch
I
Pleasantville?
which one?
Pleasantville?
Yes.
God, I love that
But I
movie.
like I grew up watching I Dream of Jeannie,
Yeah.
I love Lucy.
Bewitched, all of that sort of stuff. So I'm hoping that
It'd be good to see if the sitcom style
Yeah.
comes across.
yeah, Brady Bunch, all of them. So yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get into that. But yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Also, have you watched the new season of Drag Race yet?
I have watched what's available for the American one, but
Yes.
not the UK.
I haven't started the UK one, but oh my god, I love the American one. And I'm so excited that it's coming to Australia, and it's going to be Rue and
Rue Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah, that is exciting.
I've been seeing the ads everywhere. It's
So
like
they're not
flooded my
actually coming to
Facebook.
Australia. They're going to New Zealand to do all the filming because of the COVID restrictions here in Sydney.
Oh, wow.
So they'll be doing it all from New Zealand and flying over an Australian crew of drag queens to New Zealand to do all the filming.
Wow,
That's
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, so
Probably
it's going to be
safer.
Australian and New Zealand. They said they're going to have a few New Zealand queens on there too. Which is, it's exciting.
I
like
wonder
that.
if Karen from finance will be there. She's a super big Australian drag queen.
I'm not sure, but there's a lot of question about who's going to be the guest judge, the third judge, because they're not bringing what's his name? He's adorable on the current American season. They've got Michelle, and then they've got
Oh my god, yes. Not from the old Queer Eye.
no, not Carson, but the guy that's on there now. I can't think of his name,
Give me a second.
but he's so sweet and
I don't watch it. It's funny because I actually hooked all my friends onto it. I'm pretty sure I showed you, Steph, and then she hooked everyone else.
Yeah.
And I got to season 6.
No, not
And then I
Carson.
stopped.
Not
And she's like, "Have
Carson.
you watched it? Have you watched it?" No. I introduced all my friends to it, and then because I watched it years ago when it was on Foxtel.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd watched a couple of seasons back on Foxtel as well, and it was only until I think I was off work during lockdown. I was so sick of everything on streaming.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
You talking about Ross Matthews?
Ross Matthews.
I love Ross
So
Matthews.
Ross is coming, and there's a lot of who's going to be
Who's
the new
gonna be
ghost.
the judge?
So the person that I've heard the rumor of is that it's going to be Joel Creasy.
Oh, that'd be okay.
Yeah, so I thought, I'm not sure if it would be him, but then I saw him write a tweet about the inauguration, and he wrote, what should I do tonight? Should I sit up and watch the inauguration, or should I do this, or should I do that? And Monet Exchange replied to him and was like, or option E, date me. And I was just like, oh, what's going on there?
So forward.
So yeah, I think it could be him.
Oh. Or maybe, I don't think Karen for finance would be a contestant. I heard that she might be a judge or something as well. She was the MC when I went to see Katya and... what was the other one? Katya?
Trixie?
Trixie. No, not Trixie. No, I think it might have been just Katya.
Okay.
She was 3 hours late. She was only on stage for half an hour. It was not worth it.
Wow.
Look, I think we can all expect Australia's RuPaul, I'm doing air quotations, of Courtney Act to make an appearance at some point during the season as well, despite the fact
We were
that
all on Australian Idol.
the love here in Australia for her is not what she, I suppose, portrayed it to be.
I don't know any of this. I'm just listening with big eyes. Keep talking.
Okay, so if you like us, please leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us an email at nerdazons@outlook.com.
And don't forget to check our merch out at Redbubble on the Craftcasters shop.
Until then.
Oh,
bye.
wait.
Oh, what?
Wait,
Sorry.
we've jumped too quick here.
Oh.
Next month,
Oh, yeah.
what our selections will be.
Oh, yeah. It's going back to Angie's choice first. Oh, why does my IMDb suddenly have a...
So next month we chose to do, Steph chose to do Zombieland and the delayed sequel to Zombieland. And then I chose to do the Exorcist book to the movie, which is why we were obviously watching the movie. And I'm halfway through the book. You can listen to it for free on YouTube because I'm not a reader. As you know, I listen to things. So yeah, just get through the prologue and the book's fine. But yes, that's it. Until then, we will see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.